In this mini masterclass, we're going to be covering the important subject of how you can help any individual play to their signature strengths. So they turn up to work to play to win rather than to play not to lose. So whether that's in a team context or whether that's in a personal context, this is a really powerful workshop to facilitate if you're a coach, a consultant, or a facilitator. So we're going to get into this subject of practically how do you bring this to life? What are some of the tools and what are some of the techniques that you can use? If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Sequant, business psychologist and founder of Grow More Leaders, where we equip coaches, consultants and facilitators with both the tools and the training they need to be able to grow more leaders at any level. So let's get into the subject of how can you facilitate a workshop that really gets individuals crystal clear about what their signature strengths are, and more importantly, how they leverage them for the benefit of the team, or at least so that they can contribute to the organization fully. So one of the techniques I'm going to be sharing with you is something called speed feedback. And speed feedback is a very simple but elegant way of colleagues being able to give feedback to each other, but simply on their signature strengths. Now, what I've found over the years is that colleagues tend to get very nervous when it comes to giving feedback. They overthink it, they overanalyze it, they worry about it. Am I going to be saying the right thing? But in this context, the only bit of feedback that they're going to be sharing with each individual, with each colleague, are the things that I value, appreciate and admire about you. So we typically tend to set it up in a very much a speed dating format, where we ask each colleague to pair up with another colleague for a matter of no more than 3 or 4 minutes. And in those 3 or 4 minutes, they have to give real-time, in-the-moment feedback about the things that I value, respect and admire about you, the things that I see as being your star qualities, the things that are your signature strengths. So we simply pair people up. We say to them, right, you've got 3 to 4 minutes with each colleague to be able to give each other that feedback and to use the full 3 to 4 minutes. And then we keep iterating it so that each individual has typically 5 rounds of both giving feedback and receiving feedback. Now remember, this is purely about your signature strengths. So it takes away any pain, any anxiety about, I'm going to have to give you some feedback on the things that you can improve. It's simply on your signature strengths. So at the end of 5 rounds, individuals should now be getting some themes, some patterns, some ideas now about what is consistently coming through as their signature strengths. So in order to strengthen these insights and to strengthen this feedback, we encourage individuals to take a bit of time to reflect and to decide which of the 3 H's is the feedback coming through most strongly. And the 3 H's are head, heart and hands. So head is very much about their rational thinking. It's all about their logical thinking. It's all about their brain power. It's all about their technical expertise and their technical competence. So to what extent is the feedback that they're getting from their peers predominantly in the head section? Then heart is all about emotional intelligence. It's about the relationship building. It's about their ability to empathize. It's their ability to give energy and coaching and development and something back to other colleagues in the team. So what extent is the feedback that they're getting from the 5 rounds connected to the heart? And then finally the hands is all about practicality, about their drive, their energy, getting things done. It's how practical they are, it's how organized they are, it's how structured they are. So at the end of the 5 rounds, colleagues are able to go into another layer of detail by consolidating this feedback, and it may well be that it's spread across those 3 H's. It may well be that it's a spike in a particular one of those 3 H's. And then we get colleagues to pair up. And in the pairing up, we encourage peer-to-peer coaching. And the peer-to-peer coaching is simply to think forward over the next 6 months. And what would it look, sound and feel like if they were leveraging those strengths fully in their day-to-day working. What does good look like? That's the key coaching question. So we typically pair people up for around about 20 minutes, 10 minutes worth of coaching your colleague, 10 minutes being coached. And the simple focus of the coaching is bring it to life. Bring to life for me, if you were now role modeling your signature strengths, if you were playing to your talents, what does good look like on a day-to-day basis? Give me an example, a day in the life of you fully leveraging your signature strengths. So the whole idea here is we're turning it now from an intellectual activity where they've got the feedback, and we're now really fast forwarding it to what does good look like on a day-to-day operational basis. What would you be doing differently? And we typically set up the coaching pairs so that we actually perhaps already get them to think through some powerful coaching questions they could be asking. And at the end of those paired conversations, we typically then invite individuals to consolidate all of this feedback in the form of capturing it on flip chart and then sharing it back with their peers. It's almost a commitment that the individual is making to the team. Here are the things that you said I excel at. Here are the things that you said are my signature strengths. In order for me to play to win rather than to play not to lose, here's what you will be seeing me doing differently, and that I'd like you to give me some encouragement on. And when you see me reverting back to old behaviors, then you have permission and have license to give me feedback. So once individuals have shared back their summary of the coaching, the 3 H's and the consolidated feedback, there's also an opportunity for their peers to do some real-time coaching collectively as a group around how can we help, how can we support, what does good look like, what's going to get in the way, and how will you keep it to life or keep it alive. So that in itself is a fantastically powerful activity in getting people to think about how they can leverage their signature strengths, but equally how they can leverage those strengths for the benefit of the team. So there is another layer to this in terms of, so that's the technique, the speed feedback activity, but there's also these strengths cards that we use, and the strengths cards are 18 cards that have got statements on that capture examples of strengths. So let me just read out a few to you. So for example, I have the ability to analyse a problem or a situation and cut through information to get to the heart of an issue. And the footer on it is that's all about analytical thinking. We've got conceptual. I have the ability to think conceptually, see the big picture and identify key trends. So this is more about strategic thinking. We've got drive and energy. I'm driven to achieve results, have real tenacity and don't give in until the job is complete. And just one more, interpersonal skills is the footer. I have the ability to build rapport, trust and effective working relationships with others. So in this particular activity, individuals lay the 18 cards out individually and they identify their 3 signature strengths, the 3 that they think they excel at. Now these cards can be a build on this first activity, or it could be a standalone activity in its own right, as a way of really getting individuals to start thinking about what are their signature strengths. And then we ask individuals to look at 2 additional lenses. So if they were to leverage these signature strengths, if they were to give airtime, if they were to give real opportunity each day to play to these strengths, how would it give them energy? How would their performance be more effective? How would their energy be different? How would their well-being be different? How would their motivation and engagement be different? So that's the first question. And then the second question is, how would they contribute differently to this team that they're a part of compared to how they're currently operating? So this is almost like a contrast activity, a before and after activity, but it's really getting individuals to start thinking about, if I were to really leverage these strengths beyond my role, beyond my function, but purely in terms of my contribution to this team, what would that contribution look like? So that the team as a whole, each individual in the team would have an opportunity of sharing this and then they'd be getting some encouragement and some license from their colleagues about, yeah, that would definitely make a real difference. We would really like to encourage you to do more of that. So, by way of wrapping up, if this has been really helpful, just drop me a comment, let me know what you found most helpful, and equally let me know what future sessions or mini masterclasses you'd like me to deliver. That would be helpful for you. If you'd like more information about how can you really start growing more leaders, then I have a free workshop. So the link will be somewhere in the description below. It's around about a 45-minute workshop. Grab a notepad, grab a pen, and see whether you can get as much information as you can about how you can start supporting your clients to grow more leaders. And if you'd like notification of further workshops coming up, then please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next workshop.